friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here for another of my natural remedies list. And if you're interested in the whole video series, I'll be making sure that I link to that full playlist in the description box down below, where I cover very many different ailments and so on. And it doesn't have to be an ailment. Sometimes it's just focusing on specific things like natural hair care or skin care and so on. I'll be putting that playlist in the description box down below, so you can click on that and then look through the list of videos that pertain to you. And as always, when I compile these lists, what I do is I type these up. This is the one thing I will take a little extra time to do. I will type all this up and add some photos and make a single post that you can access through a link that I'll be putting in the description box down below, so that you can have all that information right there and you don't have to type it all up. But it's still good to listen to the whole video, because I usually add extra things and go into depth on certain things. I just don't have time to add to the list when I type them up. And the other thing to know is, when I compile such lists of herbs and other things that can help with various ailments and so on, I get them from many different sources. I never rely on just one source. I compile things. I use natural-based websites. I use the National Institute of Health. I sometimes even find information on medical-based websites, so that I can find things that all coincide and get a very well-rounded list put together that I know is going to be pretty accurate. And sometimes I find the most interesting things on the NIH than I do on natural-based websites, and that's all going to be based on the actual science and the studies that are done on that. So that's pretty cool. Now, before I actually go through the list of things, like I have just a few things right here, obvious things that you got to look at when you're talking about weight loss is getting plenty of movement, as much as is possible for you through the day. Not everybody can afford a gym membership, and my personal opinion is gym memberships are just a waste of money, because you can get a lot of exercise, all that you need, right at home. Sometimes just doing specific chores like gardening. It's a matter of getting movement, and wherever you are at is finding ways to get more movement. Even if you're wheelchair bound, you can find ways to add some kind of movement to your daily activities. And so I have a video specifically on how to add more movement to your day. And for some of us, it's just being so busy trying to make the time to set aside a specific 20 minutes or half an hour just to exercise, when really you don't have to do that. It can be something that you're doing all throughout the day, which is actually the more natural way to go about it anyway. And so I covered that in that video, so I'll be linking to that in the description box down below. And in that playlist that I mentioned I also have a video that's specifically on pain and inflammation. One of the things that's going to help with weight loss is dealing with inflammation in the body. So I suggest you watch that video, as well as the one I did more specifically on digestive health. And that's generally speaking digestive health. But when you understand what's good to help with your digestion in general, that's also going to help with weight loss. And then when it comes to herbs and spices, though I have a great list here of some that are specific for helping with weight loss, a lot of times it's simply about adding more flavor to your food. Now, not everybody likes the big, powerful flavor punch like we like to add to everything. Some people prefer more bland food. But here's the thing. If you can add more flavor to your diet, just spice things up a little bit more, that's actually going to do better at helping to satisfy specific cravings, so you do not eat as much. So you'll find that the more spice and flavor that a food has, the less you'll need to eat to satisfy the cravings. So that's another reason why I like lots of spices and flavor in my food, because I don't feel the need to eat as much. If something is bland, you tend to want to eat more of it to satisfy that need. So anything that's going to add more flavor that's going to be healthy for you is going to be helpful in that. So now let's go ahead and get to this list of herbs. Now this can be things that you grow in your own garden, or things that you stock up in an organic form as you can. And I prefer buying in bulk of anything I don't already grow, such as cinnamon and cloves and so on. So let's go ahead and read this list off. And the first thing I'm going to mention isn't actually an herb, it's a flavonoid called quercetin. And quercetin is found in many things. Usually are things that have anywhere from a yellow to red color, but not always. Lovage is one of those that's high on the list, as are capers, and they're not red or yellow or orange. And those are two of the things that are highest in quercetin. But also your citrus fruits, your peppers, be they hot peppers or sweet peppers, red onions, grapes, and red apples, all of them really, but the more red when it comes to those specific things, the higher in quercetin they're going to be. So red onions have more quercetin than your yellow or white onions, for instance. And that's just a short list. I do cover quite a few in a video I did about 4 years ago. That was actually more about turmeric and do I really need black pepper. Combining anything with quercetin in it with turmeric is just as helpful as using black pepper. So I'm going to link to that old video in the description box down below as well. But with that said, turmeric is one of the herbs. As one would expect, it seems like it's in almost every one of these lists I put together, whether it be for pain or digestive health or high cholesterol or high blood pressure. That's also one that's really great for weight loss. And some more are arugula, ginger, there it goes again, capsaicin, so there's those peppers. So any of your hot peppers, your cayenne and so on, those are going to be great and helpful for weight loss. Camellia sinensis, so this is any of your true teas. So that's green tea, white tea, oolong or black tea. Panax ginseng in particular, but I think any ginseng is going to be helpful. Mints of pretty much all varieties. Speaking specifically though about mints that have that menthol flavor like your peppermint, I just gathered this from out front a little bit ago. I do put up a lot of peppermint because peppermint tea is one of our top favorite teas that we make. And we drink tea every night, especially me. Patrick doesn't have it every night, but I have several cups of tea every evening. Half the time it's peppermint. A lot of the times it's going to be ginger combined with lemon balm, which is also another one of the herbs on this list. I love ginger and lemon balm. Or lemon balm combined with orange mint is another excellent one. So there you're getting that mint. And lemon balm is a mint too, but they're more specific, but they have different medicinal benefits of each other. So combining those two together, you can get a pretty good power punch. And then catnip is another great mint, or cat mint, that's good to help with weight loss, and it's also a mild sedative which can be very calming. So anything that has more sedative properties such as your lemon balm, your catnip, your cat mint, and your valerian can be helpful in the fact that if you can calm yourself down, you're going to be less likely to have unhealthy food cravings that are going to cause you to gain weight. A lot of times we gain weight when we're stressed out. Some people will lose weight because they don't have an appetite at all. And some people, and I'm one of those, is I tend to have more unhealthy cravings when I'm really stressed out. So I have to watch my intake and focus more on my different teas. And also drinking these different spicy teas in the evening or very flavorful teas also takes away just food cravings in general. So it makes it a lot easier for me to skip dinner and stick with my intermittent fasting where I'm only eating in the middle of the day. And by the way, that was another video I was going to mention, is diets and what works for me. I'll link to that in the description box as well. So obviously that's going to go right along with this. Okay, so continuing on, ashwagandha is another great one. I really don't like the flavor of the root. Mostly the way I've used it is in my jet fueled latte, and I have a recipe video on that I'll link to down below. And that can be very helpful for weight loss. That can also be very helpful for menopause, as well as if you have hypothyroidism. Black seed oil, hemp seed, dandelion, and that was, we're looking mostly there at the leaves and the roots. So right here, in fact, I have a jar mostly full of dandelion leaves, but when it comes to the dandelion, my favorite parts to eat fresh are the leaves and the stems. I love the stems when they're real fresh and young and big, fat ones. Those ones are so good. So I suggest trying to get out there and eat them fresh. The stems to me have the best flavor as long as you pick them at the right time. Sometimes they can get a little too tough if you wait too long. And then the leaves I add to fresh salads, and those are just excellent for digestive health and many other things. Psyllium. So psyllium tends to, though it can come from several sources, one of the main places it's found is in the plantain, the husk of the seeds. So some psyllium husk. So if you're already letting that plantain grow wild, don't forget to harvest those seeds and put them to use too. Plantain is great. Most everyone can grow it, and most everyone already is growing it without even meaning to, and I have a video specifically on that I'll link to in the description box. In fact, what I'll do is link to that whole herb playlist as well, like I often do, and plantain is in there, as well as valerian and several of the other herbs that I'm mentioning. Parsley, garlic, rosemary, chili powder, oregano, black pepper, fenugreek, cumin, cardamom, and I already mentioned lemon balm and catnip, and chamomile. Chamomile, I would think, would fall right in there with the catnip and the valerian and the lemon balm, in that its mild sedative properties are very calming. Now, all of these different herbs and spices I mentioned have their own way of helping, and they're all going to be a little bit unique. So find ways to mix it up. Whether it be adding to salads, most of the ones I listed off are great in teas, but there's quite a bit of this stuff like the chili powder and so on, that in the cumin, where you make a nice tasty Mexican dish like a tamale pie or something like that, and get plenty of chili powder and cumin in there, and that's going to be very helpful in so many ways. Again, you're getting that good flavor burst that's going to make you not want to eat as much, because you're going to be satisfied by the flavor that you're getting from that food. So there's my list. Don't forget, if you're unfamiliar with YouTube, to open up that description box to find all the many great links I'll be putting down there, including the link to the list I'm going to be typing up. You have to click on either show more in all caps right down here below my channel name, or if you're on a smart device, it's going to be in the form of a little gray triangle or arrow. Sometimes it's just an arrow, sometimes it's actually a solid triangle, and it's on this side. Just touch that and open it up on your smart device, and then you'll be able to access all the links, including my email address and anything else I'll be putting in there. Oh, and I forgot one more: hormonal health. I don't have one that's just generally on hormonal health, but I do have one that is on natural help with menopause that is also in that playlist I'll be putting in there. And so depending on where you're at in your life and what different health ailments you're dealing with, these can all be helpful. Once you know how to deal with those, those are things that can also help with weight loss. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful, and if anyone has any other herbs or suggestions they want to add, or what worked for them, go ahead and share that in comments down below. And thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.